Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 25 of our free 30-day Get Up and Go challenge. Today just so happens to be Christmas Day, Christmas 2021, and we are going to talk about the SOAP framework. Here we got the SOAP framework. Here we got the SOAP framework, hopefully right side up. The SOAP framework with respect to our spirituality, our spiritual life. Remember, we've got different areas and aspects of our life. Excuse me. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, and then I added this past April, communication and confidence, because they're just, to me, foundational areas that we can always be continuously improving in to make our life work better, to make our relationships work better, our businesses work better, our careers, whatever. So today we're going to talk about spirituality and how that applies and how we can use the SOAP framework. So whenever there's a change or a challenge with respect to usually our beliefs, because our spirituality is based very strongly on our emotions and our beliefs and our feelings. It's another example of how all of these areas play into each other and they're all interconnected. I drew this for my granddaughter to show her. We were talking about the different areas and aspects of our life one day. Now, keep in mind, she's only 6, and so we use a lot of colors to communicate and talk, but pictures are how we communicate best. So spirituality, the first thing we need to do is talk about what our tool is going to be, and then what is spirituality to you, and then what area or aspect of spirituality do you want to choose to apply the SOAP framework to? Because it's not really possible to apply it to everything with respect to our spiritual being or our wellness or our physical being or our financial health all at the same time. We want to break it down into manageable size pieces that we can actually have an impact on. So when we talk about spirituality, what do we mean? First thing you need to do is define that for you. Is it religion? Is it your connection to a higher power? Is it your belief in God or other spirits? Is it, your belief in the universe? We all have different belief systems and foundations. Is it your belief in your bigger version of you, your soul, your spirit, your connection to that? Is it your relationship with a higher power, whoever that higher power is in your experience? So we need to pick one of those. So let's say, I'll go through my example. I haven't done it yet, but I'll go through an example as we talk today. So our tool today is one that I think is a great tool for enhancing all aspects of our spirituality, getting to know ourselves better, is meditation. Now, meditation can be super duper complicated. There's all kinds of techniques. If you want a complicated technique, I invite you to go to YouTube or Google or some other search engine or some other place, or go to the bookstore or the library and look up different types of meditation, because they can be super duper simple, which is the ones I ascribe to, or they can be very complicated, very regimented. I don't like rules that much, so I like the simpler, more flexible types of meditation. So to me personally, meditation is just about slowing our mind, focusing on our breath, focusing on our being, and having a quiet time. Now, I've gotten to the point where I can actually zone out and meditate almost anywhere. I could be in a busy playground. I can be in a busy park. I can be almost anywhere, and I can focus in and tune everything out and meditate. That's taken years of practice. But if we focus on our breathing, and there's all different types of breathing techniques. If you go to the Get Up and Go group page, you can just put in the search bar meditation, and you'll get all kinds of different information on that. But for right now, let's just say it's focusing on our breathing and calming our mind. So how can I use this to think about my current story and my desired story, the S in our SOAP framework? Well, my current story, let's think about, I'm not meditating right now, but let's breathe, take a deep breath, and think about, well, what is my current story with respect to spirituality? It's that I am spiritual, not religious. I follow a lot of different things, and I'm very curious about spirituality and religion and other people's practices. But out of that, everything I read and experience and see and hear about, I look into if I'm curious about it, and what feels right to me, I will incorporate that into my beliefs and my practices. If it doesn't, I just let it go. So that's my current situation. But what do I want my desired spiritual situation be? I guess I'd like it to be a little more formal in that I have a regular way to make sure I'm moving toward what I want. Of course, we want to be the best version of ourselves. I want to be the best soul, the best spirit, the best example, the best version of myself I can be. So am I there yet? Well, heck no, very human. Christmas and Christmas Eve would be huge examples of this year. So how do I get that? How do I fill that gap of here I've got this chaotic, just kind of hodgepodge way of focusing and learning about my spirituality. How can I make that more purposeful and structured and continually growing and improving like the rest of the areas and aspects of my life? So I can just breathe and meditate and think on my current situation, think on my desired situation. That creates the gap. And the rest of the SOAP framework, the O, the A, and the P, we use to fill that gap. So we get to the O. O stands for options. What are my options? How can I meditate to think of my different options? Well, if I quiet my mind and sit in a quiet place with a piece of paper on my lap, I can breathe and I can come up and with all different ideas. I want to always come up with at least 10, and then I want to pick 3 of those or so that I'm most likely to move forward on before I move to the A in our SOAP framework, which is action. Nothing happens in our lives unless we take action. I mean, we wish it would. We wish we could just think things and they would instantly be. But do we really? I think of some of the thoughts that pop into my head and I'm like, thank goodness they don't instantly manifest, instantly become real, because that would be really, really messy. Life would be a lot messier if things instantly came to be. So we're going to use a decision-making tool if we need to compare alternatives and pick something to take action on. Why? Because we want to act when? We always want to act now. Whenever we get an idea, whenever we get a thought that we can act upon, that we want to move forward on in our life, we want to act on it as quickly as we possibly can. So if I need a decision-making tool, I'm going to come up with one. But if I don't, I'm just going to pick something. So let's think of some options. What are some ways that I could go from where I am to where I want to be? Well, I can actually take a course or do a formal study, or I can get a coach, for a spirituality coach, which would be really hard for me. Look at, I'm already analyzing ideas. It's human nature. So I can pick an action that I'm going to take, and maybe I just make meditation. I just meditate on it today. Maybe my action is to meditate on how I can fill the gap from where I am to where I want to be, to add more structure to my spirituality practice. That's actually the action I'm going to take. And how will I know if I'm making progress? The P in our SOAP framework. Well, what I want to do is I want to think of ideas while I'm meditating in options of how I can use meditation as a tool to create a spiritual process and practice that will make sure I'm getting practice automatically toward what I want. Now, to be honest, I just thought of this, but if I meditate every day, that would, on spirituality, that would automatically be moving me more toward a regimented way. And guess what? I do meditate every day. So I can meditate every day, and that improves my spirituality, fills that gap, and moves me in the direction I want to go of continually improving as a human being. So that's a very messy example of using the SOAP framework on a spiritual area of my life. And you could use it on any spiritual area of your life, or religious area, or however you define it, to go from where you are to where you want to be, and then make that progress automatic as part of the SOAP framework process. So today our action item is just to meditate on something with respect to your spiritual life. Use meditation to go through the SOAP framework, and then share in the comments below, how does meditation make you feel? Does it make you feel heavier, or does it make you feel lighter? It's taken me a lot of years to come up with my own meditation practice, because like I said, the complicated, regimented ways of meditating haven't really proven effective or felt that good to me. If it makes me feel heavier, I'm not going to do it. If it makes me feel bad, I'm not going to do it. If it makes me feel icky in any way, I'm not going to do it. So I had to find ways to meditate that make me feel really, really good. And you can tell in my voice that when I meditate, to me, it's just breathing and quieting my mind and thinking about things. That makes me feel good, and it doesn't stress me out. If something stresses me out, that doesn't make me feel good, and I'm not going to do it consistently. Share in the comments below, how does meditation make you feel? Do you practice meditation? Do you see how it could help you apply the SOAP framework, not only to the spiritual area of your life, but to any area or aspect of your life? All right, have an awesome Merry Christmas, and I will be with you tomorrow, and we will probably talk about, I don't know what we'll do next. I'm going to surprise you because I've done something different every day for the next one. So either confidence, contribution, or communication. We haven't done those 3 yet, so we'll talk about one of those 3 tomorrow. Have an awesome day. If I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow.